Hello, everyone. I'm John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Welcome to Fridays with Sandy, but we have a little curveball to throw at you today. There's no Sandy. Sandy's having technical difficulties with his internet and has tried multiple times to get on. Nonetheless, I am here and I am here with William. William is a round three candidate at some very elite schools, which obviously presents a problem in and of itself, because after all, round three is typically reserved for people that admissions staff wants to like build out a class with. So in other words, if you have too few consultants, too few computer scientists, too few investment bankers, too few nonprofit types, this is your chance to pick and choose from the wait list and the round three applicants who else you already want in a class that's pretty much formulated for the fall. So that puts a number of different candidates at a disadvantage. And I think William is in that boat. So it's interesting to look at William in that context. Let me give you the basics. William has an excellent GRE score. He's only taken the GRE once, I believe. We'll find out. And it was recently, and his score is 330, which is the exact average score at Stanford this past year. And it's higher than any other business school in the world at a 330 number, which is really super impressive, obviously. Now, it may not be a surprise to you that he is in computer science. His major at UT Austin was computer science. So, people who have a STEM background tend to score well on these standardized tests, and he certainly hit the bell. The other thing is he's got a 3.6 from UT. UT, I should say, also is considered a public Ivy, so that's a plus. And then he'll ring the bell again. He's working at Amazon, one of the most desirable employers in the world these days. He's a software engineer. So, and he's been there for 2 years. He had an internship at Amazon that kind of led to that. He also did an internship at TSI in supply chain and operations, and he's done an internship at Honeywell. So Williams' target schools are Berkeley, Sloan, Stanford, Michigan Ross, and then Kellogg's MBA program, which is the new name for their Triple M program, which people will know is sort of their collaboration with McCormick Skill at Northwestern in technology and science. So you get a joint MBA from you get an MBA from Kellogg, of course, and also an engineering master's from McCormick. Now, William, what's your post MBA goal?
Yeah, sure. So my post MBA goal is to join a consulting firm that specializes in global supply chain management and operations management. So that's my short-term MBA goal. My long-term MBA goal is kind of connect all the experiences I gained from on the operations and supply chain side from that job, and then from my MBA itself to my technical background and create some sort of venture that is focused around solving problems in this area.
Right. Good. Obviously, people who want to work for consulting, there are a lot of consulting jobs. It's one of the big employment fields for freshly minted MBAs. So, oftentimes post MBA goals are incredibly important in your admissions because, no school wants to admit you if they don't think they can give you a successful outcome. So if they know you want to join McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Deloitte, Accenture, or any of the other major consulting firms, that's a leg up because there's a real need and a demand for MBAs in those fields. And those companies hire MBAs by the boatloads, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds every single year. So they know that they'll be able to place you. And that's a really important piece of the puzzle. Now, you are only 22, so you're
Right, right.
incredibly young. Did you graduate from school young?
So first, I'm an August baby. So
Ah,
so there's that. And yeah, like I graduated from UT in 3 years. So that was like a big reason why my age is
now why
so
were you in
specific.
such a hurry?
Yeah, sure. So the main reason is because I found that I wasn't getting fulfillment at school. I wanted to see like real world impact of like the work I was doing, and I couldn't, get that out of just the coursework. Um, and I really enjoyed my experience as an intern at Amazon. So, I was rushing to go back. It's always nice to have a paycheck, especially if you're under like, financial pressure. Um, and I paid my way through college. So that was like another reason as well.
Oh, wow. Well, you want to make sure you mention that you paid your way through college, that you were very anxious to apply what you've learned and get into the real world.
Mhm.
And that's why you finished up in 3 years, which it's even more impressive, put in the context of a 3.6, and frankly, a demanding major. Computer science is not a layup. It's certainly not basket weaving, or in my case, English or political science, I might add. Now, you've chosen a bunch of really elite schools and you're going round three. Man, you're gutsy, let me tell you. Why round three? Why'd you wait? Why'd you wait?
Yeah, sure. So, I had some like work related issues. So there was like a lot of pressure to deliver the product that we're
Understandable.
going to be delivering in the next couple months.
And is this a
So
major product for your company?
yeah, yeah, this is a product for, the service I work on is Aurora. This is a major feature for Aurora. People have been looking for this for years. Um, so we've spent the last like year and a half, 2 years, ever since I started, just developing this thing out and trying to find, resources like on the engineering side to just like deliver this thing. So that's like the main reason why. Um, Also prepping for the GRE, I was very nervous about taking this. So since I hadn't taken like, a standardized test for a while, um, so that in conjunction with like work is sort of why like I applied in round three, other than like earlier rounds.
Okay, that's a super important thing to let admissions know if you haven't already. That the reason you're applying in round three is because you were immersed in a major initiative at Amazon
Mhm.
to put out a new product improvement that's been long awaited by the marketplace. And in the same way that it's important to describe why you graduated in 3 years, that you're paying your way through and anxious to make a contribution in the real world, because those kinds of things take the edge off the fact that you only have 2 years of full-time work experience,
Mhm.
and the fact that you were applying in round three, because in both of those cases, I see those as the two biggest red flags you have. You have great raw stats. You have a great, highly selective job coming right out of undergrad. You had a highly selective public university experience. You're an ideal candidate, except for only 2 years of work experience and being 22 at an elite program where they're looking generally for 3 to 5 years of work experience. So you need to offset and take down the red flags by being very explicit about those two issues. Number one.
I see.
So and your extras, I think, are pretty good too. Tell everyone what you did in terms of your extracurriculars.
Yeah, sure. So I'm always trying to find opportunities to do something, a value add to like my position, no matter where I go. So, at Amazon, I have mentored an intern, and I'm trying to mentor another one this coming summer, right before I leave, get an extra intern. And then I've been, recruiting at my alma mater. So recruiting at UT as a campus ambassador, trying to recruit interns, full-time engineers. It's always good to get like another Longhorn in the workplace. Um, and then in college, I tried to hold like leadership roles. I was president of a security org. We grew that thing from 20 to like 250 plus, raised a bunch of money in the process for our yearly operational costs. I was also the vice president of a mobile app development club, just teaching kids how to develop, teaching undergrads, not kids, how to develop mobile apps. I was also working as kind of like an engineering person for hackathons. So specifically Hack Texas, where I developed some sort of check-in process for that hackathon. And then I was also volunteering for doing CS outreach to local Austin high schools that were like disadvantaged. So
Wait,
I
what are
got
you, Superman?
yeah, undergrad was pretty busy, but it was like a
Uh,
lot of fun. Yeah.
that's remarkable. I mean, you really stuffed a lot into those 3 years, I got to say.
Yeah.
So, off the top of my head, here's what I think. I can tell you what I think is going to happen, but but more than that, I want to tell you this. You're an ideal candidate for an elite MBA program, number one. You have everything going for you, except you don't have enough work experience and you're too young.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're applying in round 3. Okay.
Mhm.
So here's the deal. At Stanford, MIT, Sloan, and Berkeley, the 3 of the 5 schools you're applying to, I don't think you're going to get in. And I'll tell you why. Because you're not unusual enough for a round 3 candidate. So obviously, these 3 schools and most of the good schools have a lot of engineers applying from really good schools with really good stats. So a lot of the seats in the class have already been filled.
Right.
Now, Amazon does give you a leg up, and the fact that you've been working diligently on a really important project there will make some difference. But because it's round 3, you're Asian, you've got an engineering background, and you're applying in a highly competitive admission season late in the game, I don't think you're going to get into those 3 schools. I think if you wait and you reapply next year and you have this product in the marketplace, and maybe you have a promotion under your belt, and then you'll have 3+ years at matriculation, your odds literally triple at, I think, Stanford, Sloan, and Berkeley. They really triple, particularly if you apply in either round 1 or round 2. Okay. I would definitely apply in round 1. And the truth is, you have there's no downside in reapplying very quickly after round 3 because you'll have something to report. Hopefully, the product that comes to market is successful. Hopefully, you get a promotion out of this. So that's a new development that will enhance a reapplication. Now, I do think your chances at Michigan Ross and the Kellogg MBI program are very good. Mainly because, man, Kellogg would love you because of your Amazon background, your stats, your interest in supply chain and operations. And while that program is highly selective, you're a highly selective candidate. And then Michigan Ross is going to love you because you are from Amazon, their number 1 recruiter, incidentally, for the last number of years, and you're an exceptional candidate. And they'll take a shot at you because you got everything except the work experience and the age. But clearly, you show the maturity of someone well beyond 22 years of age. Let me put that out
Thank you.
there. And I think it's important, if you can get an interview, you're going to sell yourself. I have no doubt about it. In Michigan Ross, if they invite you to interview, you're going to sell yourself into the program. So the big question will be, do you want to go to your first choice school, which I believe is Berkeley Haas, which will likely turn you down?
Right.
And it's not because you're not great. It's because you're applying in round 3 and you're too young. Okay.
Yeah.
And I do think, the odds triple if you apply round 1 and you're going to have 3 years plus. So, look, be a little patient. You were impatient if your undergraduate education wanted to get out in 3 years instead of 4, right?
Right.
And
Right.
now
Right.
you're a little bit impatient about your work experience where, you're eager to move on and get the graduate degree and then get the consulting job. Cool your heels a little bit. Take it easy. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I got to tell you personally, the one thing I most regret in my life was I was so ambitious and wanted every new challenge and every new opportunity in my early years that sometimes I didn't sit back and enjoy the success that I was having or the learning I was getting in those jobs. It's a really important thing. Um, to learn, absorb, be present, and and just take advantage of the wonderful opportunity you already have instead of always looking forward at the next thing, which is what I was doing when I was young. So if you want to get into Stanford, you want to get into MIT Sloan, you want to get into Berkeley, I do suggest that this time around is a practice run for you. And guess what? You're going to be
Exactly.
a better candidate next when you reapply. If that is a strategy that you're willing to accept. I think it's the ideal strategy for you. I do think too, though, you're going to get into 2 of the 5 places you've applied to, and then you're going to have a difficult choice. And incidentally, there's no wrong choice. Okay.
Right, right.
You can achieve your dreams at any of these 5 schools. They're all excellent. They're world-class MBA programs. You'll get the benefit of a magnificent education. And each of them will send you on to a really good career in consulting. I just think another year in your job with a promotion and with the product out there is going to put you in a much better place as a candidate. So that's
Mhm.
my advice to you, William.
Thank you. So I guess my question is like, you know, I sort of planned this, like you said, expecting that I probably might not get into, 3 of these schools. They are, like you said, like elite and the best. Um, so I was wondering, if I adopt, the strategy of delaying everything by year, moving everything to round 1, which is in like 5 months or so. What are my odds of getting into each of these schools, like Stanford, Wharton, or Stanford Sloan, sorry, and
Yeah, sure.
Haas?
Sure. Well, look, I think at Stanford, they're, the accept rate, the latest accept rate at Stanford is 9%, which is actually pretty high. And that occurred because of the pandemic, and they were
Right.
protecting on the downside for deferrals and things like that. More traditionally, Stanford is 6%, which means they reject 94% of a self-selecting pool of applicants. And you can bet that 80% of the people in the pool could go to Stanford, do exceptionally well, and have wonderful careers. Okay.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit of a crapshoot at Stanford, but I would say, I told you, I think your odds triple. I think your odds right now for Stanford are probably 3%.
Mhm.
So I think that they'd be closer really to 15% probably at Stanford next year as a reapplicant. At MIT Sloan, I think your chances would be 40 to 50% next year. At Berkeley Haas, I'd say they'd be, 35 to 45%. So and just do the divisor, right? I'm saying they're triple what they would be
Right.
right now. And that also assumes you're not applying in round 3 of next year, incidentally,
Definitely
which
not.
I don't
Definitely
think you're
not.
going to do. Now, whatever you do, don't take the GRE again. You've got a terrific score. Your score is equal to Stanford's average, as I pointed out before, and it's above every other school. It's 6 points above the MIT Sloan average, incidentally. It's 7 points above the Berkeley average. So you're in really good shape on the GREs, and don't even think about sitting for that nasty test again. Okay.
Yeah.
And your GPA is strong in a difficult subject with doing it in 3 years. Your extras are good. All you need is a little more work experience and maybe a promotion. That's going to do the trick for you, really. And then it's all about execution, how well you execute on the application, and the fact that you've already been through the process or are about to go through the process for these round 3s is a good thing, because I think you'll learn something through this process that will make you do a better application the second time around. And incidentally, reapplicants are often very, very successful. Harvard Business School, a very high percentage, surprisingly high percentage of the people who get in are reapplicants. We have the data on Poets and Quants. Harvard Business School only revealed that data a number of years ago once,
Mhm.
but there's a story on Poets and Quants about that. And we were shocked at the size of the reapplicant success rate at Harvard Business School, and I assume it's going to be the same, if not better, at these other schools. And the other reason for the reapplication, incidentally, is because you are Asian and you have an engineering background. And as you know, people who fall into that bucket are oversubscribed at all the elite business schools, but
Right.
not many of them. Not many of them work at Amazon. Not many of them got into a public Ivy and did a 3.6 and paid their way through college and racked up all the extras that you have. So, you know, you're going to stand out even in that oversubscribed pool, but that's also why you got to apply round one.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Well, hey, William, we're rooting for you.
Thanks so
Good
much.
luck. And hey, you never know. Weird things happen in admissions. It's so random. You could get that invite from Berkeley Haas, and then you're golden. You go, right? I mean, you
Right,
could.
for sure. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, but it could.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, William, good luck to you. And
All right,
thank you
thanks
for
so
joining
much.
us today. And Sandy, I can't wait for you to come back because you're the guy who's the real expert. He's the best reader of tea leaves in admissions, particularly at Harvard, that I've ever seen. Anyway, hey, this is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. You've been watching Fridays with Sandy, without Sandy this time. Good luck to all of you.